Hello, good morning and welcome. This is Sunrise Daily. It's the 8th day in the month of May. It's 27 degrees here in Lagos. I don't know where it is in Ogun State. I'm Ayo Makinde. Welcome to the show.
Good morning and welcome. It's a Friday. I'm Kayla Magwa. Welcome again to Sunrise Daily. It is 28 degrees here in the nation's capital. Mostly cloudy we here. Yesterday night it rained, but throughout the day it was really hot. So we don't know how the day is going to go. We thought it was going to rain during the day yesterday. It didn't rain at night. But hey, the rains are here. And all that comes with it is in focus as well. There are many health advisories going out there right now. If you live in a floodplain, you should probably start thinking about moving right now. And then the health and safety of all residents of this country have to be taken very seriously at this period in time. Make sure your environment is clean, all right? Don't be complacent. We don't have a lot of problems right now, but there is Lassa fever. There are a few things going on right now, and most of them have to do with sanitation. So make sure that you are tidy and clean. One state that has commenced their sanitation is Lagos State. And we're going to be going back there to Ayo, where he's going to start off this conversation we're having with the AIG of Zone 2. It's a security conversation, isn't it, Ayo?
Oh, absolutely. Don't forget that we had that conversation with General Ishola Williams, who was saying, as far as he's concerned, we don't have a security problem in Nigeria. What we have is a safety problem. That's part of the conversation we're having this morning with the Assistant Inspector General of Police, Zone 2, Olohundare Jimoh. He's here with me in the studio. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigerians.
Let me begin with that congratulations on your promotion. The last time you were here, you were a CP. Now, just two letters. Now you have 3 letters.
I think the appreciation goes to the Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunjiri Disu, PSC Nigerian Police, PSC Taka Nigerian Police Medal for finding me worthy of being promoted to this rank, and appreciated the chairman and members of all the Police Service Commission after a rigorous exam and interview process that I emerged and they promoted me. So appreciation goes to them.
Well, that recommendation must have come because, as we say, there is the reward for good work or hard work is more work. You were over about 20 million plus Nigerians. Now you have an expanded number of people to superintend over. We know that you have what it takes. But then what do you believe is the single biggest policing issue you have to contend with in this expanded responsibility?
Thank you so much. I think standing up from being the Commissioner of Police, Lagos State Police Command, that hubs is a commercial ops and the nerve center of economy for Nigeria, and is populated with over 23 to 25 million people. Drawing a policing plan wasn't easy then, but we have to bring in the people input to be able to draw a broad-based policing plan that ensures safety and security throughout the period. And with the support of the Inspector General of Police and the Governor of Lagos State, the job was made easy, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. I shouldn't be tired of saying it. The type of template, security template you have in Lagos is second to none in the country. I don't think there's any state that have it. So on a constant basis, we go along, not the police alone, with the military and other security and safety agency in Lagos State to ensure that we're on board. And we have been working in synergy to ensure that we have this level of security and safety in Lagos. Mind you, the situation I met on ground wasn't alarming, but we built on it. I made a lot of introductions in like the Eco Strike Force, like the tactical squad, the anti-kidnapping squad, and equally the anti-crime patrol and community protection. All these squads were created and supported, approved by the Inspector General of Police and supported by the state government to ensure that it flourish. And all that goes. So we have massive deployment of police personnel throughout Lagos, including Ogun State as we speak. So starting off from that and coming into the responsibility of supervising the Commissioner of Police and all the personnel in Lagos, equally the Commissioner of Police in Ogun State and all the personnel there. We are using that the same framework that we have used to ensure adequate security throughout my period as Commissioner of Police is being extended to Ogun State now. And the Governor of Ogun State equally is doing his best for the police, and we appreciated him too for all he has been doing for the police to ensure that we are on top of our game. So generally, it's not easy because we lose sleep but we're having successes. And for whatever is the process that you are going through, and you have results, then you are good to go. And above all, the public-spirited individuals and other critical stakeholders in both Lagos and Ogun have been coming forward to identify with the police and be able to assist us in ensuring that we put policing in the doorstep of all citizens of these two states.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about cooperation with the police. You may agree that to a large extent, the relationship between the police and the people had been frosty, generally. The unfortunate incidents, for instance, in Delta State, which, of course, the IGP has acted decisively on and made some real put some strong word out, including the conference that he held recently, speaking on that same issue. How do we build? What do people need to do to build that confidence? Because sometimes they go to the police station. People say that they will go to the police station just to report a case, and then they become the victims. They become their suspects themselves. So how do we build on that? How do we build on that relationship so that people can be able to volunteer more information to the police?
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to start from the point that the people of Lagos and Ogun State are highly civilized people, and they've been coming up despite the issue of assumption of trust issue, because there are quite a number of things that is based on assumption and not based on the facts. The good people of these two states love the police, and they've been coming to our aid in giving us valuable information and ensuring that we are on top of our game all the time. But putting that aside, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunjiru Disu, PSC Daga, Nigerian Police Medal, have set the ball rolling promptly as you resume, and let us know that the respect for human rights and human dignity is a priority. And equally, bring in a project which has to do with the people at the boss. We are to serve them. And he has drummed this down to the mind of every individual who are in the policing structure to ensure that we continue to weigh in on this in defining how we police the people. The issue of the trust is being worked upon, because any organization such as the Nigerian Police Force that have the responsibility of securing the people, we are subject to public opinion. And because we are subject to public opinion, we have to grapple on day-to-day in educating our personnel, in ensuring that we supervise them and make sure that they conform with the dictates as is expected in the respect for human rights and dignity in the Constitution. So, but when you dwell into that of Delta State, what has happened there, the AIG withered the big stick against those officers responsible, because even though the guy has committed the crime, no individual, no Nigerian wants to die in the hand of any law enforcement agency. It is the process of the court that we have to take the person through, and in the process of the court can look at the matter and take appropriate judgment that is appropriate in that regard. So no Nigerian deserve to die in the hand of any law enforcement agency, including the police force. And that is why when the person, his name is Ogun Ogidi, went to Sapele, from Sapele to Warri to dispatch a parcel, that he told them at the garage that this is a baby clothing. And in the process, they felt it and they feel it's heavy. So they went behind the courier himself, opened it, and discovered a locally made fabricated Beretta pistol with 4 rounds of live ammunition. They called in the area commander, and the commander swiftly now mobilized a team to go there to pick the suspect. He did not direct them to shoot the suspect. Even if the catches of arms are much more than that, no individual should die. And in the process, the IG promptly moved in and directed AIG in charge of Zone 5, AIG Dogo Suleiman, to quickly move in, who promptly went into Sapele, meet with the family, in conjunction with the local government chairman of the area, pay a condolence visit, and assure them that just judgment will be done in the matter. And equally, the senator representing the Warri senatorial district equally moved in and assisted us in ensuring that the people brought in to have a meeting with the AIG and to ensure that justice will be served. Okay. So these officers, all of them have been dismissed. The case have been forwarded to DPP, and their prosecution will promptly commence, so that all Nigerians will know that no officer have the right to take your life for whatsoever reason, okay, and for whatsoever offense you have committed. Okay. So it is based on that the IG called the emergency conference, okay, where all of us attended, and where he said the emergency conference is necessitated because of the time.
And that was the first issue that he raised at the conference. Now, talking about courts and all of that, there's this case recently of a woman, one Adeyinka, who said that, you took the police to court, and the case was thrown out by the court. Now, the issue was that, according to the case, that she was unlawfully and unconstitutionally declared wanted by the police, and that she wanted some kind of recompense from the police. Yes, the case was thrown out of court, but part of the argument of her counsel was that the case, shouldn't have been thrown out because there are other cases that came before it, an Emmanuel Oji case, a Moyele Sowore case. In fact, one of the cases the judgment was passed by the same judge, and there were two different, judgments. You want to give us an idea what exactly happened and why? Because the conflicting judgments, so to speak, suggests that maybe sometimes the police just has to have its way.
Oh, no, that is completely wrong. Okay. The judge, a magistrate, or any presiding officer that is overseeing any matter in court have the responsibility to go through the book and listen to both parties in the matter. For people who are suspect, that's where this judgment is quite important for people to understand it, that no court order is needed by the police to declare a suspect wanted, a suspect of a crime. Especially as it happened in the case of Dorcas Adeyinka, wanted for multiple fraud, cyber crime, all that cyber-related issues that she has committed. That's the judgment that the police need no any order of court to declare a suspect wanted. Maybe in those other cases that you have mentioned, the first one you mentioned about a lawyer, that a judge, the same judge, maybe the lawyer is not a suspect. But a suspect is somebody that have committed a crime, and even across the world is universal, that once there's any shooting anywhere in any country, I don't want to mention name, maybe Europe, in America, or whatsoever, immediately you are seeing the pictures of those who are responsible for that shooting, so that people can be mindful and people can assist police them with information that will lead to the arrest. So if there's a suspect that have committed a crime, or somebody like two of the cases that you have mentioned just left Abuja and sent it on social media that, look, I've finished with Abuja, I'm eating Eba, and the next point is to go to Lagos to cause mayhem and block the 12 million bridge and cause a lot of... So we don't need to wait for such mayhem to be unleashed on the people to be able to stop such a person by declaring such a person wanted. If you have nothing to hide, if the police declare you wanted, that you're a suspect in the matter, you surrender yourself, and you'll be taken through the process of the law. So this judgment is very definite, and it's very clear, it's ambiguous, that the police does not need any court order to declare any suspect wanted. Suspect in the sense that somebody that has been suspected to have committed an offense. For example, somebody that has committed a crime of armed robbery or kidnapping, and you say you are going to look for order of the court. Before you get the order, the guy is gone. So, and equally in the statutes, we have those cases that you can arrest with warrant or without warrant. And virtually in everything we do, we put the procedure into place. And the court equally mentioned, because the matter is out of court now, at least we can discuss on it to some extent. There is the constitutional role of the police to ensure law and order and protection of law and property. And in this regard, as like even in my own case with it is clearly stated that as Commissioner of Police in Lagos State, I have the responsibility to protect law and order, ensure the safety of all the people living in Lagos State and coming out of Lagos, as I deem fit. It's a constitutional provision. So this constitutional provision is unambiguous. It's clear for everybody to understand. And the statutory procedure, everything that is statutes within the police are equally procedure that are governed by law. So where I'm going to is that we have a lot of decided cases that stipulate that no court can stop police investigation.
Okay. Well, there are many other issues, and I'm sure that Kayla will be raising them with you. But just one or two other things before we go to Kayla. Vandalism. And I'm sure it's one of those issues you have to deal with in Lagos and Ogun State now. And I know that you're probably doing some things around that. But particularly the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road. I've had reason to go on that road. And as I drove and I saw some things that people have done, I'm wondering, God Almighty, I don't know. So why do we then still have reports of vandalism on that infrastructure when you and your people are doing the kind of thing that you're doing? What's the missing link here? Is there any issue with the community? Or what exactly are the issues?
Thank you so much. To take you first of all, we don't have any serious vandalism issue on the coastal road. But for those incidents where we have that some people remove some metal railings and others, we've arrested quite a number of suspects and we have prosecuted them. You know, when we started the deployment, when the road was opened by the Honorable Minister of Works, Engineer David Mai, in December, I was present there. And we did massive deployment throughout the section that have been opened. The work is still going on and we have improved our deployment. We have close to 50 police team on that road, on both ways. And since the road has been open to traffic, there's not any single incident of armed robbery, kidnapping, or car snatching, or even snatching of phone on the road. We made massive deployment. But people capitalize on the other area that the contractor are working to move in and take some time. So we now created a special squad called the Oscar Charlie. That's we talk of OC in charge of Coastal Road, with about 4 vehicles provided by the Lagos State government. Appreciation to them for the Mr. Governor of Lagos State to have provided this for us. They move in 40 to patrol the nook and cranny of the entire area. But what we have as vandalism is minimal. But no matter even if it's 1 or 2 incidents, the people should know that this infrastructure is for them. And we should protect everything that government have done in this regard. Arresting may not be enough, but we are working with the people. We have had a series of stakeholder meetings, which were convened by the contractor, the ITEC that is handling the project. Federal Controller of Works was there. My Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operation represented me the last time I was there previously, equally, to be able to look at how we are going to use the community too were invited to ensure that they know that this is a huge project of federal government that is being implemented to ensure that there is a betterment for the life of travelers along that road. Even for the section that's opened, if you go through the area in the night, you won't believe that this is Nigeria as a country. So we've reduced crime to 0 on Coastal Road. So this vandalism too will bear with it. And as I speak, there has not been any single vandalism in the last 3 weeks on that road. That means as the project evolving, we'll be dealing with the emerging situation that come up. And even the Honorable Minister of Works, I want to also appreciate him. He has provided us with some patrol vehicles that is going to about 6 now to ensure that our men move around. And he has equally promised to buy us police motorbike for our personnel to be on the motorbike, because we have about 6 divisions that span through that road from the Bar Beach to Eleko. We have about 6 divisions within the area. Ilasa is in between, Morocco is in between, Lekki is in between. And all the DPO in those areas are ensuring that they do the best they can.
All right, well, so in a number of other questions, but I'm sure that Kayla is ancient to come in on the conversation. So, Kayla, go ahead.
Well, Mr. Jimoh, I mean, listening to a lot of, and I like the fact that you're addressing cases individually. But let's talk about the conduct of police officers. I think that's where my focus in our conversation is going to be. The videos that we see trending online of police officers They're very disappointing and shocking most of the time. There's a thought process out there, Mr. Moshood, that the old SARS attitudes were not dropped when these former SARS officers were, when SARS was disbanded, and we hear that many of them were put back into the police force in different capacities. Some say that that old SARS attitude is still ingrained in police officers, profiling people based on how they look, extrajudicial behaviors, even killings that we've seen. What kind of trainings are going on between, the higher officers, such as yourself, and these men who are on the street and have to interface with humans? Is there any truth to the fact that the old SARS culture still remains in some of your officers? And then what's being done to remove that culture from the police force?
Thank you so much. I want to start first of all that the Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunji Riwan Disu, PSC Daga, Nigerian Police Medal, deserve a lot of appreciation from the public because he has brought in a lot of changes in this regard. The violent crime squad that has been created to ensure that we muster all our tactical squad under one umbrella for proper supervision is another thing to be appreciated about the Inspector General of Police. But your assertion that the SARS has been disbanded and there's no any area where the old SARS were migrated into another squad or another formation for them to do anything. Everything as a lesson of SARS is being followed. But Nigerians, we are good people. When we do good as police, they appreciate. If there's quite a number of things, if there are a number of things that affect, it's still okay, they draw attention to it so that we can redress them. But I want to say that virtually all the video that you are seeing online outside the incident that happened in Delta are extremely old videos. Some of them dated to about 5-6 years ago that people are now propping up and now tagging as something that just have happened. But despite that, the Inspector General of Police has set up a high-level committee to investigate all those videos and be able to ensure that if there's any that are recent among them, those who are responsible are brought out and they are dealt with appropriately in line with the processes of the law. It's not shedding anybody, but we want people to know that if you are helping us, the police force, and you are helping Nigeria, you should be able to only base whatsoever you are going to put out on fact and verifiable facts. So we want people to ensure that before you move another video to another person, verify if they are true or not. So there are quite a number of them that are rampant, that are virtually something that happened 5, 6, 7 years ago. But we are not sweeping anything under the carpet. Everything that the Inspector General of Police is doing is transparent for people to see. And we equally
sorry, Mr. Moshood, sorry, just so we stay on the point I'm trying to make, and I need that clarification from you. When SARS was disbanded, what happened to the officers who were working in SARS? Where are they right now?
The officers that are working in SARS were not dismissed from service. They are conventional police officers, general duty police officers, and they were taken to different beats.
So they were reabsorbed into the police force. My question is, were they debriefed? Because there was something wrong in their behavior in SARS, which is why SARS was disbanded. Was there a debrief where they are now told new attitudes and behaviors for the work that they are now supposed to do?
Yes, thank you so much. A lot of international human rights organizations, including the Red Cross International and others, even participated in ensuring that we reshape the behaviors of all these personnel. While I was CP Lagos, the Red Cross were in my office, and quite a number of things they have done with us to ensure that those people who were rehabilitated in terms of performing their duty and ensuring that they continue to respect human rights and human dignity, and their behavior and contact with members of the public conform with the international best practices. So they were definitely debriefed. They were debriefed. They were not just thrown out. And a lot of them were taken out of the normal service of tactical squad or other issues that will bring them involved with the members of the public, as we speak. But they are general duty officers, and they have been deployed to areas of need in the police force. So there's no way you are going to see 2, 3, or 4 or 5 people and say, oh, these are the NSAS people that are regrouped together. So we want Nigerian to continue to have the trust and confidence in the Inspector General of Police, IGP Olatunji Disu, that as it progresses in the reform agenda that is implementing, things will surely be better off than the way we have it. And we'll be having the desired result in everything that we do. So, but we want people to remove their mind from somebody say, because quite a number of things, like I said, are assumption. Quite a number of things I hearsay. Somebody tell this, somebody tell this.
Mr. Jimoh, sorry, just so I can get this in. Sorry to interrupt, but let's talk about something that we do see. All right, you just said a lot of things that are reported are assumptions. So let's talk about something that's not an assumption. At least I witnessed it. At least even yesterday, it happened to me, where we have police checkpoints that are not really checkpoints. It does feel like many of your checkpoints are just an avenue for police officers to beg for money. This is something that every Nigerian faces. It is not an assumption. It's not something that is ethereal. We didn't read it in the news. We experience it every day. They stop you, mama, anything for the boys. It's everywhere. And it affects the reputation of your officers. Could you speak to that culture and what the Nigerian people should do when we are stopped at a checkpoint and somebody is asking you anything for the boys, happy weekend and all of that?
Thank you so much. We do our best. The Inspector General of Police have equally, like, he had the emergency meeting and warned all senior officers from Commissioner of Police and above that they will be held precautionary liable for any conduct of their personnel. Not only issue of extorting money, even from the beggarly attitude of saying your boys are here, you are saluting somebody that needed not to be saluted. But what I'm saying is that the number of those incidents are very few in number, and we want people to know that we are dealing with it, and the IG doesn't sleep over it. He has set up, we have the escort of the force that go around the state. He has equally extended the police escort to all the command and all the zones in the country to ensure that once any report like that comes up, we deal with it appropriately. But we want to encourage the people to report to us, because if you don't report to us, we may not know what happened. Outside our team that are going around, the people too should be able to let us know at the level of my office as AIG or Commissioner of Police, or equally a DPO, because we don't condone that. That is not what the police stand for.
You are in Lagos, Mr. Jimoh. So it may not be so much in Lagos, but she said she had that experience in Abuja. Maybe we need that kind of, tightening
but
all across the nation.
I know where your office is in Abuja. If she's driving to work, I don't think that she's going to run into any checkpoint around the area that she follows. Because, security has to do with prompt response to every incident. And we have a patrol vehicle stationed on designated point where they can respond promptly. Yeah. So they are equally those down observation points. They are equally those that are nipping point to ensure that if anything happens, they quickly respond and not necessarily coming to the road.
Quickly, and please, you may respond to this in about 30 seconds. What is responsible for the high number of checkpoints on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway? It's your zone.
Yeah.
So what is responsible for it? And are we maybe if people have an understanding, then, because I drove to Ibadan, I must have encountered between 5 and 10 of such security points, and I'm wondering, it's an expressway for a reason. So help us understand.
Thank you so much. Checkpoint, nipping point, stop and search point are part of crime prevention and control strategies.
On an expressway?
Yes, adopted by the police, because a criminal doesn't know whether somewhere is an expressway or a super highway or whichever way. So if you take Lagos to Ibadan, for example, we span about 160 kilometers, and you just have checkpoints in just 10 places. So that means averagely, in more than 10 kilometers, you have one checkpoint. That's what it means. So, but if they are there, the people should know that they are not causing inconvenience to them, but it's to ensure that they are safe as they travel. And that is why incident within this region, the area that is mine between Lagos and the territory of Ogun State, will take the larger part of that stretch of Lagos-Ibadan expressway, even dovetail to maybe 20 kilometers into into Ibadan before you now enter into jurisdiction of Oyo State
Yeah.
are properly policed. No incident of kidnapping, no incident of car snatching, no incident of
my
robbery.
issue
It's because of this.
I hear you. I hear you, Mr. Jimoh.
I get what I'm trying to say. But it's for crime prevention.
I hear that.
To ensure that we're on top of our game.
I know. We understand that. And we're happy that you are preventing crime and not fighting crime. But for a very long time, if they are just on the highway, in Lagos, there aren't, in the metropolis, I hardly find any checkpoints in the city of Lagos.
If something comes up, I want to nib it in the bud.
Occasionally, yes.
Yes.
I hope it is not a permanent feature. That's the question.
No.
Okay.
It's just for the period to ensure that we stem the tide of.
Now you talked about
and where we are looking for maybe snatch vehicles.
Yes.
Or robbery.
Okay.
And we put
now you mentioned the violent crime response unit. The concern that Kayla raised is about SARS and the men there. And we hear the IG say, the people there have been trained to respect human rights and all of that. There are those who would look at it with, as we say on the street, corner eye, and say, is this not a rebranding of SARS, Special Anti-Robbery Squad, now becoming the Violent Crime Response Unit? It's similar in nomenclature, just the letters are just different. So I hope it is not a rebranding and that the people are not going to have the same experience.
No. This is quite different. SARS has been disbanded and it's gone. Then the Violent Crime Response Unit that you have equally have prominent personalities that are not police officers, that are on board supervising what they are doing.
Okay.
I think about 2 days ago or yesterday, the Commissioner of Police in Lagos have appointed Dr. Ayodele Ogun as a member of this team, so that we have an oversight of what they are doing, and it doesn't dovetail and cause issues like you have in the issue of SARS. So they are not the same thing; they are different, because this is a baby personally being supervised by the Inspector General of Police.
Okay.
The Violent Crime Response Unit is working,
okay,
and it to ensure that we nip in the bud all forms of violent crimes throughout the country.
Well, this is just one of several conversations, because we haven't even touched the issue of human rights that you and the IGP have been speaking about, but maybe some other time we'll bring that up with you. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Olaundare is the Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 2. Thank you again for your time, and once again, congratulations on your promotion.
Thank you so much, and my appreciation goes to the Inspector General of Police for this.
When we return, we're going to Abuja to talk some politics. Do stay with us.
Welcome back to Sunrise Daily, and we are discussing politics, as Ayo said. My guest has resigned from the Labour Party, and I'm trying to understand what's happening. I hear he's following his principal around, and we're talking about opposition, and of course, Peter Obi's defection. And joining us for that conversation is the former national chairman of IPAC, Mr. Peter Ame. Thank you so much for being with us on the program.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Pleasure to be with you.
All right. Before we get there, you were listening to Mr. Jimoh Moshuda. You were uncomfortable here because that begging at every checkpoint. He said before he left, he was saying that the route to this office, you wouldn't see that going on. That's not true. From Area 1 to the Central Mosque, and it happens at all those places.
It is not just begging; it is mandatory toll payment.
Yes, mandatory toll payments.
You must pay something. You can't move. You see it by National Stadium, National Judicial Institute, by under the bridge. You see it at very close to Turkish Hospital. You see it at Area 1.
Area 1,
You see it at Central Mosque. As you are going around, you must put 500 naira in that center of your car so that you pass peacefully. Because
in fact, the Central Mosque on is two sides.
Yeah,
the one that is near the park.
The park, and the one opposite.
And the one opposite the mosque directly.
Facing the mosque directly. How do you tell a man waving a gun at you that please, I want to pass, and he's telling you, Oga, where are you coming from? Why are you? I say no. Please, I'm going to my house. I pass here every day. So don't say, okay, what do you have? If you say you don't have it, they'll keep you there and they'll continue to cause traffic unnecessarily until you drop something. And people are afraid for their lives because a report can be written now and say, no, though the man is popular, though the woman is popular, but this was what he was doing at the middle of the night. And people will start to have doubt of your credibility. In most civilized countries today, you don't see the level of road blocking that you see with policing. There's so much technology that can be deployed while the police stay off the road and stay by the side, to be able to respond to emergency. You can continue to put rickety tires and wooden sticks on the road and defacing our national, capital.
I don't know. I don't live in Lagos. We live in Abuja here. It's now become a rule, sort of, that you must have at least 500 naira.
You must change it and put in your car.
Just keep in your car because it's night time.
If you don't have, you explain. You go explain tire.
So I think Mr. Jimoh should probably look at it. Something that is very serious, and the IG in all of his reforms, maybe this is something that he should look into. So let's go back to politics. What is going on? You're leaving the Labour Party, or you have left.
I've left
the Labour Party.
Yes.
Talk to us about that. And why the NDC? Is it just about your loyalty to Peter Obi?
No, look, for me, it's about the injustice that is permeating around the political cycle of this country. And for the opposition that have not been able to get it well is because of the injustice that have existed. We talk about rotational presidency. We talk about South having their term and the North having their term. And if you find out that the South has just done one term, and people are disappointed in the performance of the current government and felt that we should have a capable, competent person to come and actually complete the term of the South, you should look for that competent person. And you don't do anything that create a mechanical asphyxiation that you want to strangulate the opportunity for the South to complete their term. So, and at this time, I thought it would be wrong if anybody is ambivalent, you want to stay on the sideline and you are not deciding that which decision will you take. The decision to take today is to be able to create stability for our country, is to be able to allow inclusivity and opportunity for everybody within this country called Nigeria to have a say and to have opportunity to govern. And with this rotational thing has created some level of balance and stability in our democratic discussion, because the agitation, to be able to balance this arise from, look, democracy all over the world is worked according to the interest and opportunity and how the people reason. Nigeria is a very complex state. And if we don't balance it from that angle, and if people don't understand to keep agreement, then it's going to be difficult for our democracy.
So you're following Peter Obi to the NDC?
No, that decision will be made. I'm having a meeting with some of our supporters today, and we'll make that decision.
Some people said, since Peter Obi moved to the NDC, he's been getting a lot of backlash. And we're seeing people calling him all kinds of names that we can't even say on air here. But basically saying that this is a person who's afraid of primaries, doesn't want to compete. That whole "I don't want trouble." No, you need trouble as a politician. If you cannot handle primaries, how are you going to handle a complex nation like Nigeria? That's the question that people have for Peter Obi right now. Do you see your principal as someone who's afraid of primaries and doesn't want to compete, wants to go to a place and they give him the ticket of the party on a platter of gold?
If you scrutinize history very well, history is very kind to those who are consistent. For Obi contested primaries when he wanted the ABGA ticket. Nobody will say that.
ABGA?
Yes, ABGA.
Ago.
So, but that people are saying he never contested primary. There was an option A4 in the ABGA primaries, which he won. And I know those who participated in that primary. I know what happened. But it's just that the other person on the other side, which happens to be the founder of ADC, is my friend. And these are not, I don't discuss friendship on private discussion on television. I just like to look at the issues. But the fact still remains that Obi did not just move to the ADC. He moved to the ADC hoping that the ADC will create a political stability by following the rotational processes. And these issues that we have, the injustice that have, what has crumbled the opposition in 2023, from 2023 to date, is as a result that some are not committed to the principle of equity and inclusivity, which states that rotational presidency is what we have. And if you are not committed to those principles and you try to call names, the amount of energy they are used to talk about, I think they should have been using it to sell their candidate. That is to show that there's nothing to sell. If there's something to sell, a man walk out of you are behaving like a jilted lover, as if you are emotionally, distraught, you are broken, you are feeling so pain. That means that person came with a component that would have survived your marriage. And you have realized at the tail end that this is what we should have done, maybe probably would have done. Even the APC, where Tinubu holds overwhelming authority, or who will get the ticket, the presidential ticket, and he will want it, he will announce it before the primaries. The party still went ahead to zone. That is to show they believe in this national balancing equation that we have been doing.
Yeah, but you're not answering my question.
Other parties
Hi, Chief.
I'm getting there.
Hi, Chief. Let's answer the question directly now. You say, and that's not fair. That phrase you used.
No, but that's what's happening.
Like jilted lovers. But my question is, your principal, is he scared of primaries now?
He's not.
APGA was a long time ago.
No, but there was,
anytime they don't give him a ticket,
how many primaries has he ran? Even the one that Atiku won in 2019. Look at all the people Atiku has contested with as vice presidential candidate. No one brought votes to that ticket than Obi. All of them had less votes. So you should know that Obi was the material in the equation. And Obi is somebody who fights to the end. Look at what happened.
Fights to the end.
No, let me tell you something. You need to allow me to just laugh.
Okay.
When the 2019 election was conducted, Obi went to court every day. Atiku wasn't. Obi went to court every day. Obi is somebody who will never ever talk negative about Atiku. He will never talk negative about anybody. He wants to be on the issue. He keep on telling you, don't discuss about people. And that's what we are learning to do. And we have also maintained those processes. Let me tell you one very important fact. That even the Labour Party primaries, I was there at Asaba. It was people willingly stepped down. He wanted to contest with the people. It was people who say, oh, you are more competent, people like you more. Can you just go ahead and solve Nigerian problem because of the physical irresponsibility we see in our management of our resources, which you are very good at. That is not that he stepped anybody down. And this one now that has happened in the ADC, it is the fact that he is looking for the supporters rallied around him, and they are looking for a party that is not encumbered by internal crisis, that's not, in a state of instability. Because you look at the kind of cases the party has, you look at the situation that the Supreme Court judgment is like a trap. And the target of all these amended laws, 21 days we also may register, all these things is to stop Obi from being on the ballot. And if you attempt to stop a man, let's say they say if the bird learns to fly without perching, the other will learn to shoot without missing. So Obi is committed to the fact that this principle of equity must be maintained, and also that party stability is also very important, and inclusivity is a benchmark, how they call it, a solid rock upon which you can build a stable, just stable society. So these are just the issue. There's nothing personal about, and the only response that really made sense, and it shows maturity, is the response by David Mark, the chairman of ADC. He said, look, though this is a very difficult situation for us, but we are going to work extra hard. You don't have to attack somebody. You are feeling so. There are a lot of other Southern aspirants in your party. Why not just concentrate on see how you can promote those ones? This man has taken the decision for the best interest of this country, for the best interest of his supporters, and for the best interest of prosperity. Look, Kwankwaso, this decision didn't come easy for Kwankwaso. You know that. And people are saying, oh, ADC, the NDC is new party. Look, don't forget that the Serenity that is a member of the NDC today did make sure that nobody won. The PDP is party won by ESA. Today they are all together with Obi. That is a plus. That was not there before. Kwankwaso is on Kano. It's a plus. People are not looking at the calculation, the very strategic calculation taken by Obi, to be able to have a platform, a free platform that will be able to guarantee the interest of the, teaming supporters and those who wish for a credible system.
So he's guaranteed the ticket in NDC.
No, it's a platform. I'm not saying don't ticket.
Is he guaranteed the ticket in NDC?
NDC have clearly said. They didn't say we zone to Obi. They said we zone to the south. That is the kind of balance we want. All Southerners should go and contest in the primaries. It's open. But when I joined the party, I will look at all the other issues. If I eventually join, I will look at all the other issues that are there. If they are comfortable for me, I didn't go to the 80s. I stayed in Labour. Leaving Labour was a difficult...
And that's actually very curious. Because at the time when Peter Obi left Labour Party and moved to the ADC, you didn't move.
I didn't move.
Why didn't you move to the ADC?
Obi and people like Aisha, they will be my witness. I said, look, the composition, these people will not keep to an agreement. Don't go there. They won't keep to an agreement.
You knew that they were not going to give.
No, I'm very sure of that. They will not ticket. They won't keep to zoning to the south.
Okay.
I'm like I tell you, I'm
zoning issue.
I'm convinced about
you were certain that they were not going to zone to the south.
They were not zoning because I look at the kind of rigmarole, the kind of planning they were having, and the kind of small cachet of meetings they were holding, and the statement from some of the people who were there at national. I analyzed it, and I knew they were not going to keep to national zoning.
Did you tell Peter Obi this?
I told a lot of our friends, a lot of our colleagues, we work together, and they're not going to keep to zoning.
They didn't listen to you when you told them.
I'm not going to be a party to somebody that would destroy what have caused injustice in our political equation and who have caused the kind of imbalance that is disrupting the entire opposition. I wasn't going to be a party to that, and that's why I stayed. And I've seen that other parties have done to the south. From there, I will make my decision and then move to further my political career.
The base with which you're with which Peter Obi is joining the NDC, of course, is the Obedient Movement. I don't know if you saw what happened online. There was another group. They said they're a faction. Oh, you saw it as well. There's a group that said they're a faction of the obedience movement, and they changed. They said they've changed their name from OBI to OBE, and they said they're saying they don't want anything to do with P2B. Are they part of the obedient movement? And does the obedient movement have a structure, leadership structure, and all of that going on?
See, obedient was was an organic.
It was organic, yes.
Very organic. People joined, the elders, statesmen, everybody felt, just for Obi. And when eventually had structure, the leadership of the structure is known. Jun Satanko, my friend, for many years, like a brother, he's the national coordinator global for the obedient movement, appointed by the leader of the movement. And if for anybody to come, I know Barry. Barry's like a brother to me.
Okay, so you know the person who said that thing.
But you know
Was
Barry,
he a member of the obedience movement?
Barry with his character. Barry is the member of Abure faction of the Labour Party. Okay. I think they are still part of those who are still agree that they are not part of the obedient movement, and they want them to be absorbed into the obedient movement. I think he's not going through the right way. If they just reach out to the right people, they would have absorbed him. The attempt to try to create a non-existent faction. I think that our political system should go some level of maturity, and our journalists should continue to interrogate these people on a very higher level, because we can't have people just wake up and get popularity for being for irresponsible act. It's true, because I think we should be able to critically examine some things that are newsworthy and some that are not.
But if someone who we have seen around your principal from time, at least back in the day, during the Labour Party heyday, if we start to see someone like that start to say things online, it's only natural that we would ask you, if you know about this. Do you know, or is this just someone making noise?
Even you that have not had public office, as popular as you are, you go outside, people want to snap pictures with you. It's the truth, yeah. So for somebody who is a governor, whether you're a governor in any of the state or you're a former governor, and you are as popular as people snap pictures and then use the pictures to trade.
And he is everywhere, isn't he?
I can give you pictures. Those who have gotten commissioner, those who have gotten universities for my approval and all these things, but for just snapping picture with P2B. I can give you those statistics. It is what we know. For me, I think there should be morality in politics. It's what I've maintained all my life. If I had the opportunity, I would have remained in one party for the rest of my life and then go home. Because politics have become so lucrative that people who go to National Assembly drive SUV cars and they buy new ones with federal government money, and yet the healthcare centers and community development structures are not really helping our people to grow. These are the challenges.
Let's bring in Ayo. Ayo, go ahead.
Quick one, Mr. Mayor. You talked about this moving from place to place, by Mr. Peter Obi. Well, not to make an issue of it, but take an issue of, I don't know, principle. Because I remember when Mr. Peter Obi was still with APGA, he made a statement. I don't know whether he was still governor at the time, or maybe it was after he left as governor. He made a statement that said he doesn't see any sense in politicians moving from party to party. He said it was an interview. It was if there's any problem in your party, you stay there, you resolve the issues, you solve the problem. That just moving from party to party, he didn't see any sense in it. I'm wondering what you think has changed, because as another politician quoted, I think it was Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo, that in 6 months, Mr. Peter Obi has moved to 3. He's been a member of 3 political parties. Is that worrisome for you?
No, politics is dynamics, and it comes with a lot of principle for you to be able to, stand your ground and do the right thing. When Peter Obi talked about being in APGA, he was talking about when those people who are elected, when people are elected, there's law clearly stopping from moving. But if you, as a citizen of this country, if you are elected as governor, you are elected as senator, House of Rep, you are elected on the manifesto of a political party, and you preach the gospel of that political party during your time of campaign. You're not supposed to move. That is, breach of trust. But as a member, as a citizen of this country, if you look at Section 40, it gives you the right to move, to belong to an association that protects your interests. In fact, the interest was used, and for national development reasons. If people talk about moving from 3 parties, it's just like, political statements are easy to make. It's just from ADC to NDC. It was in Labour, so it was as if we moved to Labour and then moved to 3 parties. And the reason why this movement has happened is probably for ADC. There are a lot of issues I feel must have happened. I'm here to communicate with him officially on this issue, but these are my reasons. One, it was encumbered by so much political crisis. People were ever sympathetic to the party and to him. And you did that, and there was no rotation. So for movement of P2B, it was based on principle. It is based on the fact that certain agreements and certain principles were made. And you look at how responsible he left. There was no, he never disparaged any of the leaders. He said, no, I don't have problem with this. I don't have problem with that. And for me, this is the reason why we are leaving. These legal issues are becoming too much. And if you look at what they are doing in the new party, most people are not asking for structure of the party. They are not asking, oh, remove all your people. Okay, let them remain there. Let's come and run with everybody so that they can, we will not experience what the inexperienced decisions that were taken in the ADC that led to some of the crashes that they eventually witnessed. And people talk about how do P2B survive in a party that government are deliberately involved themselves in trying to orchestrate crisis.
I always find that particular statement. My apologies, Mr. Ame. I always find that part, if you can hear me, I always find that a bit, laughable that, opposition parties are always pointing fingers at another party as being responsible for their woes. It is politics. You guys always say it like that. In fact, Mr. President said it is his pleasure that any party or any competition, working against him is in disarray. I mean, you don't want your business, the business of your competition, to thrive in a way that will affect your own business. So it's just a normal thing. It's in how it's carried out. I think that's really the issue here. So if, as you say, opposition, the ruling party is incurring in the affairs of one particular political party, what is wrong with the opposition party themselves going into the APC and doing their own business as well?
I think you are underestimating the power of the Nigerian presidency. And what if you don't have a Democrat?
Is it not the same Nigerian presidency that was defeated in 2015?
No, I need to clear it to you, defeated or not. The man himself restrained himself and decided to have with dictate of democratic principles. But the current system we have, you could hear a chief of staff to the president saying, oh, you stay in the party and scatter it. People are looking for evidence. There was the INEC itself was established by Section 133. That means as a federal executive body, that if you must get judgment, the INEC must obey. You must get it from state, federal high court. The INEC the others appointed in INEC were established in Section 151(1)(c). That means every appointment is federal and the structure is federal. So, but you saw that even in Labour Party, there was a judgment from Nasarawa State High Court, which INEC honored. There's a Supreme Court judgment that was given to the Labour Party. The INEC refused to honor until Peter Obi left. You go to the ADC today. The crisis you talk about ADC, the founder of ADC is my very good friend. My brother, we've been together for many years. He has supported me in ways that most public will not know. But the party was stable. He was enjoying his party until Peter Obi entered the party. And you started seeing court cases. You started seeing status quo antebellum that was misinterpreted by INEC. INEC is not yes, INEC is a registrar and a commission that is involved in the management of political party affairs, but it's not an interpreter for a law. Look at what they wrote, that they have interpreted that particular ruling by the Court of Appeal as removing recognizing the leadership of the ADC. INEC went far and beyond the ruling to take that decision for political reasons. And then you are now having a decision to say that no, the man should remain and continue to fight political battles that is being orchestrated by the federal government. There are evidence. It's just that except you refuse to see it.
I think it is better for opposition parties to bring out that evidence. We need that evidence to be able to report, and then we can effectively call the federal government out on that matter. But I know Kayla has one or two other issues to raise with you before we exit this program this morning, but let's take a quick message and we'll be right back.
Back from that commercial break, and we're having that conversation about P2B and what these movements do. I'm going to ask you again. These movements from one place to the other, these accusations that he doesn't want to be able to get into he doesn't want to fight, he wants to be given things. Do you think that these movements chip at his credibility?
No, in fact, he's strengthening it.
How?
He's strengthening it because you take decision based on the larger interest of the public. Look at the surge in the movement to NDC. If it was weakening it,
people are talking to Jonathan, Jonathan. If Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, and the rumors, of course, there's no proof to this. If Goodluck Ebele Jonathan decides to run, many people have said he shouldn't. But if he decides to run and he runs under the NDC, Peter will not get the ticket again. He will move again.
Goodluck is respected. I respect him so much. The ever federal appointment I ever got, I got it from Goodluck Jonathan. You know, we are serving in oil and gas, Bonnie, through with my friend Senator Ben will be my elder brother. So I know I love him. Everybody loves him. But you know, times have changed, and you know, momentum too is not on his side. I believe he's an elder statesman. He has sacrificed for this country in 2015. And I think his contribution to the development of this country cannot be, thrown apart. Most of the people you saw today, they protesting to that place, were the people who orchestrated lies against him. The man who was speaking, the Okere from Delta,
yes.
It was in APC. There were people who were orchestrating misinformation about him. We were standing for him. You can ask Senator Ben Obi. I was at the police headquarters every day because I was supporting him. I was there every day because they said, "Oh, you can't become my IPAC chairman. You're not pro-Buhari." So the truth remains that Jonathan has served. But for now, as another statement, I think it should continue to give moral compass, give stability to our democracy across Africa, across the world, and continue to act in that manner and allow the youth of today who are burning with passion to be able to have a credible electoral process, to have an economy that will carry the young people along, that will promote the interest of the SMEs and expand our economy to a point that the current high level of poverty.
Yes.
About 40 million people have been driven into abject poverty because of the miscalculation of this government and how they remove West.
Well, we're totally out of time, Mr. Peter Meh, former national chairman of IPAC. Thanks again for being with us on the program. You've left the Labour Party, and we'll be waiting to hear the announcement.
After my meeting.
After your meeting today. Thanks again for being with us on the program.
Thank you very much, man.
All right, that is Sunrise Daily this Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. I'm Kayla Magwa.
In this season of moving, Kayla, let's move to the business studios this morning. I'm Ayo Mike, and enjoy the rest of your day.